Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with a bit of a different video today. I'm going to check out the cost of living in various cities here in Spain, starting off of course with the capital Madrid, which is where I am currently, and then we'll compare the cost of living in Madrid with some other cities, for example Valencia and Barcelona, and then we'll take a look at some of the cheaper places to live here in Spain and compare the prices in those cities with Madrid. Now today's video is sponsored by Skillshare, and I'll tell you more about Skillshare during the video. So let's go. Now, as I said, the purpose of today's video is to compare the cost of living in different Spanish cities, starting off with this city here, Madrid. And the website we're going to be looking at for this comparison is this one here, Numbeo or Numbeo, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So let's get cracking with the cost of living in Madrid. And we'll have a look first at a summary about the cost of living in Madrid, Spain. And we can see here that a family of 4 estimated monthly costs are €2,550 and 42 cents without rent. A single person's estimated monthly costs are €724 and 35 cents without rent. Madrid is 39.85% less expensive than New York without rent, and rent in Madrid is on average 67.78% lower than in New York. So that's those important figures out of the way. Now let's have a look at some of the day-to-day expenses, starting off with the restaurants. And as we can see, a meal in an inexpensive restaurant in Madrid is going to cost you around €12 and 93 cents. A 3-course meal for 2 people in a mid-range restaurant is going to cost an average of €60. A meal deal at McDonald's here in Madrid will set you back €7 and 92 cents. Half a litre of domestic beer is going to cost you €3. An imported bottle of beer, $3.50. A cappuccino, €2 and 11 cents on average. And a 330ml bottle of water, €1.62. So those are roughly the prices you pay at restaurants here in Madrid. When it comes to market shopping, we can see here a litre of regular milk, 82 cents, a loaf of fresh white bread, €1.02, a kilo of rice, €1.16, a dozen eggs, €2.08, and a kilo of chicken fillets will set you back €6.72. Transportation costs now, and we can see a one-way ticket on local transport, €1.50. A monthly transport pass will set you back €54.60. To hop in a taxi, it's going to cost you €3, and to travel 1 kilometre, €1.10. A litre of gasoline, according to this, €1.55, but it's a bit more expensive now, unfortunately. And if you want to buy a car, a Volkswagen Golf will set you back €23,500. Basic utility costs, for example, electricity, heating, cooling, water and garbage for an 85 square metre apartment are going to set you back €155 a month, and an internet connection around €37. If you want to keep fit and join a fitness club, it's going to cost you just under €42 a month, and childcare, preschool or kindergarten for 1 child per month, just under €483. When it comes to clothes, you can pick yourself up a pair of Levi 501s for around €75, and a mid-range pair of Nike running shoes will set you back just under €74. The average price for rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in the city centre is just over €1,000 a month. The same apartment on the outskirts will set you back €781, and a 3-bedroom apartment in the centre of Madrid will cost you €1,757 a month. And last but not least, and perhaps the most important thing here, is the salary that you can make in Madrid, and the average monthly net salary after tax is €1,790 and 39 cents. So there we go. If you're going to come and live in Madrid, those are the prices that you're going to pay. Now, time to compare Madrid with another similar city here in Spain, Barcelona. And basically we can see here that Barcelona is a little bit cheaper than Madrid, and it says that you would need around €3,602 in Madrid to maintain the same standard of life that you can have with €3,500 in Barcelona, assuming you rent in both cities. And if we have a look at some of the major differences, we can see that consumer prices in Madrid are 1.33% higher than in Barcelona. Rent prices in Madrid are 6.31% higher than in Barcelona. Restaurant prices in Madrid are 9.92% higher than in Barcelona. Grocery prices in Madrid are 0.40% higher than in Barcelona. And local purchasing power in Madrid is 9.44% lower than in Barcelona. Now let's compare the price of restaurants in Barcelona and Madrid. And we can see here that a meal in an inexpensive restaurant will cost around €12 in Barcelona, but close to €13 in Madrid. A 3-course meal for 2 people at a mid-range restaurant in Barcelona will set you back €50, whereas in Madrid 60, so a 20% increase there. McDonald's is cheaper in Madrid than it is in Barcelona, so that's some good news. Domestic beer and imported beer are going to cost you the same. A cappuccino in Barcelona is slightly cheaper than it is in Madrid, and Coke, Pepsi, and water are more expensive in Spain's capital than in Barcelona. When it comes to market shopping, both milk and bread are cheaper in Madrid than in Barcelona. A kilo of chicken fillets more expensive in Madrid, and the biggest difference in the market you'll find when you buy apples, as they're 25.56% more expensive in Madrid than in Barcelona. When it comes to getting around on public transport, a one-way ticket in Barcelona is a lot more expensive than it is in Madrid, but a monthly pass on public transportation is more expensive in Madrid than in Barcelona. Taxis in Barcelona are more expensive, and that same Volkswagen Golf is 6.36% cheaper in Barcelona than it is in Madrid. When it comes to utilities, Barcelona is the most expensive city, and it's also more expensive to get an internet connection. Fitness clubs are cheaper in Barcelona than they are in Madrid, and it's a little bit more expensive to send a child to preschool or kindergarten in Barcelona than it is in Madrid. That same pair of Levi's are close to 9% cheaper in Barcelona than in Madrid, and when it comes to renting an apartment, either in the city centre or on the outskirts, Barcelona is cheaper than in Madrid. And the surprising piece of data here for me is that the average net salary in Barcelona is 6.78% higher than in Madrid. So in general, the cost of living in Barcelona cheaper than it is in Madrid, but salaries are higher. Now I'll just interrupt the video here to give a shout out and thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves learning and wants to explore their creativity and learn new skills. Invest in yourself and your personal growth. Do you have a specific skill that you're trying to learn? Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From photography to illustration to organic gardening, cooking, DIY, and more, you can find classes that will match your goals and interests. One of my biggest passions is travel videography, and on Skillshare I have found classes that have helped me improve my skills in this area, and I love reaching out to other members in the Skillshare community. And if you're planning a move to a new country and you're thinking of going freelance, the Skillshare classes Going Freelance, Building and Branding Your Own Success by Justin Gignac will help you do just that. The main advantage of Skillshare for me is that it is ad-free, so you can stay in the zone while you're exploring new skills, and there are new premium classes launched each week, so there's always something new to discover. And the first 1,000 people to use the link or my code SpainSpeaks will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So click the link below and take advantage of the offer and check out Skillshare for yourself. Now back to the video. Now time to compare Madrid with another city here in Spain. Let's try Valencia this time. And we can see that we would need around 3,584 euros in Madrid to maintain the same standard of life that you can have with 2,900 euros in Valencia, assuming you rent in both cities. And again, we can see some of the main differences between the two cities. Consumer prices in Madrid are 14.02% higher than in Valencia without rent. Consumer prices including rent in Madrid are 23.59% higher than in Valencia. Rent prices in Madrid are 48.35% higher than in Valencia. Grocery prices in Madrid are 7.88% higher than in Valencia, but local purchasing power in Madrid is 4.28% higher than in Valencia. Now let's have a look at restaurants, and we can see that in general, Madrid more expensive than Valencia when it comes to getting something to eat, except again when it comes to McDonald's, because as we can see, a McMeal at McDonald's in Valencia is 8 cents more expensive than in Madrid. When it comes to market shopping, again, Madrid generally more expensive, but cheese, oranges, potatoes, onions, and lettuce will cost you more in Valencia than they will in Madrid, which is surprising considering that oranges come from Valencia. Transportation, as we can see, generally more expensive in Madrid than in Valencia, and a monthly pass on public transport is a whopping 67.89% more expensive in Madrid. Utilities also more expensive in Madrid than in Valencia, and sports and leisure activities a lot cheaper in Valencia than in Madrid. Childcare cheaper in Valencia, and when it comes to rent differences between Valencia and Madrid, we can see that there's also a huge difference. In fact, a 56.30% difference when it comes to renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city centre. And salaries, as we can see, on average lower in Valencia, the average salary there being 1,389 euros, and that's 28.87% less than in Madrid. So, we've seen the cost of living in Madrid, we've seen the cost of living in Madrid compared to Barcelona, and we've seen the cost of living in Madrid compared to Valencia. And now we're going to compare Madrid to one of the cheapest cities here in Spain, Ciudad Real, a city that is less than 2 hours away from Madrid by car, Ciudad Real. And the first thing we see is that you would need around 3,690 euros in Madrid to maintain the same standard of life that you can have with 2,300 euros in Ciudad Real, assuming you rent in both cities. And let's have a look at some of the main differences, and we can see that consumer prices in Madrid without rent are 29.98% higher. Consumer prices including rent in Madrid are 60.44% higher than in Ciudad Real. Rent prices in Madrid are more than 200% higher than in Ciudad Real. Restaurant prices in Madrid are 43.56% higher. Grocery prices in Madrid are 47.68% higher, and local purchasing power in Madrid is 30.26% lower than in Ciudad Real. Now let's turn to restaurants, and we can see that Madrid is a lot more expensive, except again when it comes to McDonald's. Market shopping now, and we can see some huge differences there, especially when it comes to a loaf of fresh white bread. 42 cents it'll set you back in Ciudad Real, whereas in Madrid it'll cost €1.02. And a kilo of beef is 195.77% more expensive in Madrid than it is in Ciudad Real. We can see the difference when it comes to transportation costs between the two cities, but it's going to cost you more to jump in a taxi in Ciudad Real than it is in Madrid. Utility costs in Madrid are 41.62% less than in Ciudad Real, except when it comes to internet prices. And we can see the prices when it comes to sports and leisure activities, more expensive in Madrid, except if you want to have a hit of tennis. When it comes to childcare, huge differences between the two cities, 131.63% more expensive. Clothing and shoes are going to cost you a lot more in Madrid. And again, huge differences when it comes to renting. A one-bedroom apartment in the middle of Ciudad Real is going to cost around 350 euros a month, whereas in Madrid it's over the 1,000 mark. And if we have a look at average monthly net salaries, we can see that there's not that much of a difference, with average salaries in Madrid only 11.9% higher. So no wonder so many people from cities like Madrid are moving to cheaper cities like Ciudad Real. Now I'll wrap this Spain cost of living video up there. We've compared the cost of living in Madrid with Barcelona and Valencia, two other Spanish cities, and we've also compared the cost of living in Madrid with one of Spain's cheaper cities, Ciudad Real. So questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you're living here in Spain, please let us know what you pay for some of the things that we have seen in the video. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.